2025 UPSC Mains Anthropology optional students, you must be knowing that the IAC 2025 has already happened. So it's very important when you're approaching the mains examination. There's high chance that you may be getting some of the themes based on this year's Indian Anthropological Conference, that is of 2025. So let's see what is the basic theme and what is the basic concept. Because from this concept of basic theme, you can expect some kind of questions, or the question areas can also be matching with this. So let's see. The theme is that envisioning anthropology for developed India. So that is for developed India, how this anthropological studies will be helpful. That is the main theme or the core theme. So we can see the India as a developed, we are saying always noted, we are not writing it as developing India. Earlier, the previous studies, everything happened around developing India. Now, for a developed India, we are seeing India as a developed India. For developed India, how this anthropological streams or the studies that is happening, the research will be helpful. I'll give you one good example. Simple example is that now we are achieving so much in our sports, right? So if you think about the sports itself, the application of the physical anthropology in sports, we are starting to use it. You can see that how we are selecting our athletes. For example, when we are selecting PV, Sindhu, etc., there are some athletic biometrics that we are always looking forward in our athlete. So these kind of things that is giving us a competitive advantage over the other countries. So these are the things in which the anthropological study is becoming useful in a way that India is showing its high status in the form of a developed country around the world. Now, the theme is only focusing on Indian anthropology. So Indian anthropology is brief details given that like it is having rich history and it has evolved with the establishment of the Asiatic Society of Bengal in 1784. These things are not at all useful for you unless until you are given a question to write about, explain or describe the evolution of the Indian anthropology. Okay, so if that question comes, even this point will be very useful for you because this is something that you already know it. So it's not a important thing to reiterate on, focus on it. Initially, following the path laid by the colonial anthropologists, Indian anthropologists traditionally focused on studying tribal studies chiefly to establish the uniqueness of their culture and to dignify the Indian diversity. So if you look at the main point, the crux, when you're writing about the how anthropological studies have developed, first thing you know that this subject, this stream, is not something that we Indians have discovered. It is something that has been adopted from the colonial studies because we have seen the colonial studies who are interested in the new culture. That is their interest, their news that has led to the beginning of this kind of discipline in our country. So after that, now how we are using it, because now we are not having the news on our own culture. We are just trying to project it like there is difference in each and every minute aspect of within a culture itself. So that is highlighting the Indian diversity. The way we are showing our diversity is completely different from how the early anthropologists, who are the colonial mindset people, used to write it. So these first initial points are only focusing on how our anthropological studies has developed from the colonial mindset to after the in the pre-independence and the post-independence, how the studies have been changing. That is the one point. So this will be only useful to you as an add-on or a short answer if you need a crisp answer for like how to write about the development of anthropology in India. You can use these kind of points. And now this is where your main focus should be. That is especially this third paragraph. Today, as India is marching towards the number one rank in every field, the relevance of anthropological approaches and anthropologists' role in fulfilling these goals is even more increasingly felt. The Vikasit Bharat 2047 is the current government's roadmap to making India a completely developed nation by 2047. So there can be a question that for the Vikasit Bharat 2047 aim, how can an anthropologist contribute, or what will be the anthropological contributions that can help in achieving the Vikasit Bharat 2047? This can be one of the questions because if the questions are going to be contemporary, it's going to connect with the present scenario that is happening in our country, then there can be a question based on this. And don't forget, since it's a high time, the wars are going on, this year anthropology, you might have to expect a question in a way relating the physical anthropology with that of war equipments. You would have been remembering like when we are designing the war dresses, the military dresses, the helicopter design, etc. You have studied how we will be using the anthropological studies in application and the application format of the biological anthropology. So revise those part. Whenever you are asked about the application of the physical anthropology in real world for the today's generation, then don't forget to highlight this as an important point, because this will be the primary important point. You're writing about all other applications, that is outdated things. So start with a fresh idea, so that your first point, if it is first point, is aligning with what is happening around in the world, then there is a high chance that your next points, reading, etc., will let you to have a high score compared to the other peers. Now it is talking about Viksit Bharat. As India strives to achieve economic prosperity, social inclusivity, cultural vibrancy, and environmental sustainability under this mission of 2040s and Viksit Bharat, anthropology can provide critical perspective that inform policies and initiatives across various domains. So, Indian anthropology is not just ready, but eager to respond and play a vital role in accomplishing the government's vision. This is the important line. You can always use it, because these are the ready-made points. Don't try and think the answer at the exam hall. Try to always have a prepared answer with you, because in some cases, when it comes to anthropology, 80% cases you can use a ready-made answer. It's not like you have to sit in the exam hall and brainstorm it. If it goes for the political science optional or other kind of optional subjects, anthropology, medical sciences, these are some of the few options. Even sociology, I will not say, because even sociology, there is a demand for you to brainstorm the ideas at the heat of the examination hall. But here in anthropology, most of the questions, at least 70 or 80% questions, you can already have a ready-made answer with you. Just your introduction and your conclusion has to be differing as per the way the question is asked. But the entire body of the question will be almost same. The theme of Indian Anthropological Congress 2025 is chosen to allow discourse and scholarly presentation on all sub-themes and address the key components of Viksit Bharat. So, why I said that this IAC 2025 is important for you, because we have in this we can see that all the things, the components, the sub-themes, everything is aligning with the key components of the Viksit Bharat 2047. So, first thing they have chosen sub-theme is the anthropology and public policy, health, medicine, and anthropology, the present relevant thing, that is a COVID, the that is a resistance to bacteria, all these things are relating that with the anthropological studies, preservation, transmission of culture, heritage through digital media, like we are making even our old historical records even as a digital format. And second thing, now this is a trend of YouTube and Instagram reels, where you can see that there are channels or there are videos that are coming up showing how the ancient culture, the practices are being preserved. For example, if you are coming from a rural background, you must have seen some of the folk dances which were only seen in the streets. Now you can see that in a YouTube reel or a Instagram reel, etc. So this is the way the culture transmission is happening. If someone is seeing that kind of folk dance through a video, there is high chance that the new generation is going to adopt it also. So that is surviving not in this original form, but there will be transformation is there. So whenever a transmission is happening, preservation is happening. But when a preservation is happening, it is not like the preservation is happening and the originality is kept intact. When there is a transmission, always as the culture transmits, there will be change. For example, if you stand in a row, you say hello to one person and ask the first person to convey this message to the person standing in the 50th position, you're very sure that the hello will not be responded in the same way. It will not be transmitted in the same way that you're expecting. Then gender development and society, indigenous knowledge and practices, environment sustainability and anthropology, technology and digital anthropology. This is also very important. So, although indigenous knowledge and practice is important, gender development society, it is a common theme for all the optional paper. So it is not something new for Anthro. It will be something you would have prepared already in your GS answers. So along with that, add one or two points that aligns with the anthropological studies. Then anthropology and social justice. This is also one of the thing important. And I will say one more topic. Anthropological studies plus the things that we are seeing, like increase in magic, superstition beliefs, etc. Because this past 2 3 years we can see that there has been so many news around the superstitious killing, the magic, etc. So how anthropological studies have described that, What should be the relevant anthropological studies that should happen to understand the present context in which these kind of crimes are also increasing? That can be one question. If you ask me, that will be a very probable question and good question for anyone to brainstorm at the exam hall. So if you're brainstorming it earlier, you have saved your time. Okay, paleoanthropology for nations unity and identity. This is a very important point. Okay, so you have to make a prepare a ready-made answer for this topic. Health and disease from biological perspective, human growth and development, human genetic variation and diversity. So these were the main sub-themes that has been covered. And what I will do is that based on all the conferences that held, based on all the, I mean the recent conference IAC 2025, what are the topics that they have discussed, I will bring you a crux of the same and we will discuss that also in another video. Thank you.